Okay, we have the amazing Ali Hugo. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Hey, doing amazing. Life is good, and we're here working through the music business, right? So,
Yeah,
for the
I
purpose.
know the music business. It can be a challenging business, but you got to stick to it. You got to keep working.
Totally, absolutely. So, for the purposes of this interview, can you please just state your name how it's properly said?
Okay, so my name is properly pronounced as Ali Hugo, but I don't take to heart if people pronounce it as Ali or I'm pretty open. I'm pretty
Okay, okay,
easygoing like that.
okay. No problem, no problem. So, where are you from, uh, Ali?
Okay, well, my background is Ethiopian. That's my heritage, and my parents moved to Ithaca, New York, when I was a kid. My dad went to school there for hotel management, and then we moved to Canada. So I grew up in Canada, and I identify with Canada. So Canada is basically home for me.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so what is your favorite part about being in the music industry?
Well, the great part about being in the music industry is that because it's such a challenging industry, when you overcome a lot of the obstacles, you really have a sense of gratification. Apart from the fact that you build a relationship with your fans, and back in the day, there was a possibility that you could really make a lot of money and live well off. But now it's just the joy of creating music, the joy of making a new project that outperforms the previous project, and also living in a time where you can really do a lot of the things that you couldn't do back then on your own, and also being able to meet the challenges of the industry today, whether it's AI, whether it's being able to perform for an international audience that might not even know what you're singing about. All of that is what makes the industry really exciting for me. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, tell us, how did you get started in the music business?
Well, I come from a musical family. So my mom is actually a singer-songwriter, and she travels to Africa quite often to go and perform in Kenya and in Tanzania, and so I had that kind of background. My dad was more of a rock and roller, and
Okay.
then he moved from rock and roll to jazz.
Oh, nice.
So I
All
had
right.
that kind of an upbringing. And then when I was, I think I was about 8 years old, I joined the family band, which was called Leo, and I started doing the spin around the mall tour.
All right.
At that
Okay.
time, a lot of the artists, the younger kids, were going to different shopping malls to hang out at the mall. Was just something that everybody did, and so you had artists like Tiffany and New Edition, and they were all doing all these mall tours, and I was in Ithaca performing at the Pyramid Mall, and trying to get my music around. So
Oh,
that's how it
wow.
really started. So initially I was what they might call the wedding singer or the birthday party singer, until
Oh,
I
wow.
finally developed a style of my own, and wanted to take it more seriously to become an artist of my own and not just an impersonator of other people's songs. That's how it
Okay.
all started.
So that's awesome. That sounds really fantastic. And, some of those legends that you mentioned really, really show the caliber of artist that you are. So who would you say is your biggest inspiration?
Well, I would say that depending on the project I'm working on, my current project is sort of like R&B hip hop, and this is the first time that I'm actually recording music of this genre. Although this is the kind of music that I grew up with, this is the kind of music that I love, that I buy. So in this particular project, I'm looking at people like Luther Vandross. I'm looking at people like Whitney Houston and Anita Baker, and that's the kind of music that was in the background while my mom was ironing or when she was cooking,
Wow.
and you know.
Yeah. Oh,
So
man.
yeah. These are like a traditional R&B, hit makers.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us more about your music style and the genre that you typically fall into, and then what made you change here.
Well, honestly, I would classify myself as a rock and roll artist, and I've had quite a lot of success in Canada. On radio. That's the kind of music that I feel. That's the kind of music that really comes easy for me to perform, and the kind of music that I can easily write. But then again, I have to think about, in Canada, I was hanging around a lot with the people of Caribbean descent, especially Jamaicans, and then going to Jamaican church and that sort of thing. So that kind of like uplifted my spirit, so to speak, to start doing more of African American influenced music. So then that's when I started becoming more. Learning a lot from people like Chaka Khan and going back and delving into how she was with Rufus and really getting to the days of Soul Train and the artists that were successful there, and some of the artists that weren't so successful. So I'm lucky because during the days of doing the birthday parties and doing the weddings, I had to do music of different genres, and that helped me become more flexible. This was by the time American Idol was starting, and you had all these different people that were going there and performing different songs. I was thinking to myself, if I was on American Idol, I would do a country song one day, and then I'll do a rock and roll song another day, and do an R&B song after that, hip hop. So that kind of helped me gain flexibility in terms of performance. And of course, research goes into it. I do research, when I'm working on a project like the one I'm about to release now, Love Hut. I don't want to say that, I'm mentioning people like Chaka Khan and Anita Baker, and then when people hear the record, it sounds like
it's not that.
I don't know, Travis Tritt.
Right. Exactly. I got it.
Singing R&B. I love Travis Tritt, but So research goes into it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So, do you have any shows coming up where your fans can see you perform?
Well, we're trying to put together a tour of the UK, and what we want to do is we want to do the coffee shop tour, where we're just playing at small coffee bars, across the UK. Nice. That's what we're planning on doing right now. And the reason I said the UK, because in the States, it's really, really difficult to market a nostalgic album, right? The Brits and the Europeans and the Canadians are, if you make music from the 80s, if you're making music from the 90s, if you're making music from the early 2000s, they still gravitate towards that. And but in the States, you have to continuously be on the cutting edge, the latest trend. You can't be old. Nobody wants to hear old.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's easier for me to create a tour in the UK than we would love to perform in the States, in different states. I'm just not sure if people are going to come and see me.
Right, I understand. The reception is important. Yes, a lot of people
absolutely.
And work their way back to the States. So, what would you say your greatest musical achievement is? Well,
my greatest musical achievement is being able to do all of this on my own, because when I first started out, I would spend a lot of money in recording studios and getting producers to do my music for me, and they were great guys, but they really couldn't translate my vision to audio. Some of them, they had their own ideas of what I should be. So if I said, I want to do an R&B album, someone would say, well, wasn't your last record a rock and roll? Why are you switching? Why are you trying to switch genres, right? But when I learned how to record and produce and write my own music. I mean, I've always been writing and playing the keyboards, but to actually record your own music, to produce your own music, to know how to master your own music, and then being able to market it. That's the most important thing. You know, you can make a great record, you can be the best singer in the world, but if you don't know how to market your music, if nobody gets to hear it, then it's there in your living room, and, you know, your grandma's probably supporting you, but...
You're being fan. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. So, Wutz Hood Radio interviews a lot of celebrities and indie artists on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. What level would you rank yourself as an artist, and why?
You know, the ranking would be in terms of experience. You know, I would put myself up there, because if we had a gig right now and you said, you know, they're calling you right now, you're going to go and perform in front of 100,000 people, and you better, you know, get up there and shake your behind, then I could easily put on a show if I had to. I have the experience to do that, you know, and it wouldn't suck. But so I would rate it up there in terms of experience. But in terms of, being a celebrity, I'm pretty sure I'm not Chris Brown, I'm not Usher yet, you know. They're artists that, they're celebrities, you know, they know how to be celebrities, and they're very good at what they do, you know, and they're very successful. I mentioned Usher. I've been listening to him since I was a kid, and, you know, so I haven't reached that level. I probably rank myself at a 5 there, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. That's pretty good, actually, for you know, comparing yourself to, you know, those individuals. So, are you signed to a label, or do you have your own label?
I was with Virgin Records up until last year.
Okay.
And then I decided to go independent again, and hopefully by the end of this year, I've signed with Rock Nation, Jay-Z's Rock Nation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be with them for a while, and we'll see how that works out. I'm pretty excited because I look at the artist rosters, and he's got Adele there, he's got Rihanna, and I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, Ali Hugo's name is going to be there soon.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. It's those little things that really give you the satisfaction. It's those little, seeing your name on the artist rosters. You have to appreciate the little things, and you know, you might not be able to fill up Wembley Stadium in the UK, but, you know, I made it all the way to Rock Nations, you know, and try to appreciate. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Right. I love that.
You know?
That's great. Yeah. So your current project is Love Hunt, and one of the records I believe you sent through was called Stronghold. Am I correct? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So how many songs are on this current project, and, you know, how far along are you with it?
Well, I've finished recording the songs. I've submitted it to the label. To my distributors, and so the songs are 12 songs. And if you really did appreciate, I tried to capture, you know, R&B, a progression. You know, so you've got music that sounds like it's from the 70s, and then music that from the 80s, from the 90s, from the 2000s, all the way to 2023. I tried to sort of get all those influences in each track, you know, to create a catalog of R&B music.
I see. So it's a journey, in other words, basically, your current project.
It's a journey, yeah. Every track is just, you know, there are a lot of people that are being very pessimistic about the music industry right now, and they say, well, you know, it's AI, but when I look at some of the artists, especially when I was working on this album, and I was researching artists that were performing on Front Lawn, and I was thinking to myself, you know, music's still, you know, it's still good. You know, music is still good, and there's artists, especially in the R&B genre, especially in hip-hop R&B, artists are still doing it, you know, the way it's supposed to be done.
Absolutely. So,
you know,
with this particular project, where will people be able to find it at? Is it going to be on iTunes, Spotify? I mean, like, where your fans will be able to find your music? Okay,
so part of the marketing ploy was because Valentine's coming up, so I like to call this baby making music, right?
Ah.
And I also like to call it non-binary baby making music, because I call it that way because I don't want you to be in the middle of the process and then Ali Hugo's picture pops up in your head and ruin the mood.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome.
So I don't want that. I want to be in the background singing, and you're going about your business and having a good time. And I really think that a lot of babies were conceived while parents were listening to Luther Vandross is because he was in the background. He didn't pop into anybody's. Yeah, so it's that kind of music where it's, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I get it. That's a wonderful analogy. So, would you like to send out any shout outs or names of individuals that you'd like to shout out, their Instagram handles or anything like that? Would you like to do that?
Well, I have my manager in Toronto, Michael Duncan, who's been supporting me since I was in my teens. He made sure that I was always at the right place and getting a lot of gigs for me, and basically just guiding me. And then I have my management team in Germany, Sabrina Saxler, who's also taking care of trying to promote Ali Hugo in Europe, and is my contact base in the European market. So those are basically the two. Oh, and shout out to my mom for making me listen to all that great music from
awesome.
Dionne Washington to Dionne Warwick to Anita Baker to Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and all that good stuff.
Shout out to Mom. That's right. Awesome. Okay, so we're getting close to wrapping this up, but I would like to ask you, where can your fans find you on social media?
Well, I'm available on Instagram. My handle is at ALIEHUGO, Ali Hugo. I'm available on Twitter. I'm available on which is X right now, Facebook. So if you basically Google me, all these social media handles will pop up. And the new album it drops in on the 10th of next month, February, just a couple of days before Valentine's. And it'll be available across the board, on all DSPs, all over the States, all over Europe, all over globally, basically, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I want to go ahead and wrap things up, but we definitely want to make sure that we thank you for your time and your participation. This has been a truly enlightening interview. We think that you're wonderful. We wish you all the success that you are due, and even more so. If there's anything else you'd like to add, please add now. Otherwise,
no, I just want to thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule. I mean, I looked at your YouTube videos, and you guys are really busy out there. And thank you for taking the time to interview me and help me get my music across, across the hood.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we want to let you know we appreciate you, Ali Hugo. Definitely a star in the making, on the rise for sure. And thank you also for your support and participation.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.